looking really sharp in the free surfing sessions. He's out there in the red jersey. He's up against one of the strong rookies from last year, Wiggolly Dantas. In his second year, we'll see how Wiggolly goes in 2016. And Miguel Pupo, who semi-finaled in this event last year. He's going to be out there in the white. But everyone is buzzing about the return of Jordy Smith. This guy should be a title contender. But so far, Ross, he's only really had that one world title campaign that he's really put together. So expecting big things this year. The
big cat from South Africa, for sure.
Best finish came in 2010. He was runner-up to the world title that year. He had a 4th place in 2013. But due to injury, slipped way down the ratings last year, as we see Miguel Pupo putting one together here.
He is a butter knife, Miguel Pupo. Just like Matty Wilco is laser sharp on that backhand. Really gets wound up. Pupo does the same thing, but more buttery. So that smooth but relentless, constant backhand attack.
So not so sharp, but very effective.
Very effective.
And handy when you're making breakfast. Here we go. Jordy Smith. His first wave, well, not probably what he was looking for or expecting, but there's still plenty of time on the clock as Wiggolly kicks out of one on the inside.
Be interesting to see if Wiggolly turns on that fire hose again. This guy throws the most spray. Maybe, yeah, it's right there.
He throws a lot of spray.
Well, everyone throws a lot of spray, but he chucks spray.
And it's all because of his impeccable timing and just a beautiful roof ride to get this wave started. And there's some of that water being displaced that Ross was mentioning, and incredible timing on that third maneuver, and bashes the lip once again. One of the real star performers here on the Gold Coast at the start of last year. Had a great finish, got to the quarterfinals, and went on and performed really well right throughout the year.
I just like how seamless he is. Some parallels there with Miguel Pupo. They're both very smooth. They don't seem to bounce or hop. Just right from the bottom to the top. Very clean rail surfing.
Well, Wiggolly got all the way to 15th position in his first year as a championship tour competitor. Love the start of that ride.
Yeah, that was appropriate. He needed to float the boat there to get out to the face. Wow, how's that spray? I love how even that spray was too. It wasn't just you know, that fire hose. Sometimes he kind of gets that vertical snap and it throws a stream of spray. That time he had a lot of rail engaged in the water and he threw out a fan. Breaking down spray.
I love it. It makes a big difference though when you've watched a couple of heats where perhaps there wasn't as much water being thrown around, and when you see someone like Wiggolly get the turn just put perfectly in the most critical part of the wave, you just see so much water come off that rail, and the judges, they take notice of it as well.
They really do. And you can tell that he loves to do it, because he always chooses to throw a big heavy snap with his rail knifing through the water right before the lip breaks, and that's what makes a lot of spray.
Well, here goes Miguel. Not overly excited about that wave, kicks out. But a solid number for Wiggolly Dantas on ride number 3.
Yeah, it's a pretty serious innings, but yeah, why not? It's good fun.
And you know, I was speaking to Strider before, and I was like, "What should I ask Taj?" And he's like, "He's a father of 3, and obviously you've just had your baby." And he said, "Hey man, he's probably got to keep motivated so he can buy the diapers and, you know, just do all of that stuff, and probably also spend some time in the water." So what is motivating you this year?
Yeah, it's true. I have to pack a few less boards now because my board bag's full of nappies. But yeah, motivation just comes from having fun, I guess, and getting good waves with not many people out. And you know, I've mentioned that every time I come here, it's so awesome to surf snapper with the lineup cleared. It feels so special. You get so excited to take every wave, but you just have to wait for those perfect ones to win a heat. But in a free surf, you pretty much take anything that comes in. So there's a real, you have to get a real steely nerve about you to just pick those perfect ones. But yeah, I've got this new board that feels unreal, and I mean, I was pretty horny to catch anything out there, but I was just so excited. But yeah, I got a couple, and it's fun.
Off.
that rail, the couple of rail turns he did on that wave were so next level. He had some similar efforts at J-Bay, but that's the Jordy we miss, just seeing those beautiful rail lines.
He has been lighting up the free surfs, and here he goes now. He's connected with a decent looking wall here. It flattened out a little bit, but he let go of a pretty decent rail turn. Throws his board into a reverse though. One of the most complete surfers on the championship tour. Working the foam over now. Not a lot of points left in this wave, but Jordy, he's got himself back in this heat. He needs a big number to move into the lead, but he'll just be happy to narrow the requirement at this point in time.
that rail, the couple of rail turns he did on that wave were so next level. He had some similar efforts at J-Bay, but that's the Jordy we miss, just seeing those beautiful rail lines.
He has been lighting up the free surfs, and here he goes now. He's connected with a decent looking wall here. It flattened out a little bit, but he let go of a pretty decent rail turn. Throws his board into a reverse though. One of the most complete surfers on the championship tour. Working the foam over now. Not a lot of points left in this wave, but Jordy, he's got himself back in this heat. He needs a big number to move into the lead, but he'll just be happy to narrow the requirement at this point in time.
It's crazy how agile he is. You know, easily one of the biggest guys on tour, 6'3", about 190 pounds plus. And he just has that technique where he's able to bend and get in those really tight spots where most big guys will get stuck. Watch his knees right there. See how he just torqued his body, you know, as if he was just a flexible 5'9" gymnast. You know, we're looking at a big dude right here. So just amazing technique, and he makes it look nice too. He doesn't have any kind of ugly elbows sticking out. Very fluid.
Like a big lion. Has that mane. But he's also a super emotional guy, and we've seen that. Yeah. When he claimed victory, his first CT win over there at Jeffreys Bay, he let it all go. Had his family on the beach. It was a special moment.
Right, last word for Jordy Smith.
He rained tears.
Yeah, Taj, smaller guy, has that compact surfing that really fits in this tight little bowl here at Snapper Rocks. But, you know, again, Taj, look at Insider right here.
Well, Jordy likes a bit more of that. I guess a flatter wall where he can really...
To brush up his skills at places like Pipe and Chopu, that'd be another thing where he could really contend for world title.
Well, here goes Miguel. Pupo is trying to make the jump from third place into the lead. And, well, just a really quick adjustment there to get that last turn in. He did well. He needs a 6.34. Will he get the number, Ross?
Out here at Snapper, on your backhand, it's easy to fall into that pattern. You know, there's not a ton of variety on offer on your backhand here at Snapper. Nice snap there. Fluidity. I mean, it's just textbook right there, but just a couple of turns. So the tide is filling in right now, Ronnie, and you can see the waves have gotten a little less consistent out there.
Well, so often we talk about a good start, really setting up your year. Jordy Smith looking for that right now. This wave's going to get away from 10.5 minutes to go. Then at Trestles, he had a 9th and then 3 round 2 exits to finish the year. He finished 27th, his worst ever finish, bar the first year he qualified. But you've got to keep in mind he had only half a year to get to 36th spot at the moment, and Wiggolly's holding down a narrow lead. Nothing separating first from third. Jordy Smith using priority on this wave. Drives up into the lip. Unloads a bit of power as he transitions down the line now. Looking for a steep wall to dig into. There's a clean rail turn. And throws his board vertical. Well, just handles that little carve and looking for a big finish now. But the wave just fades away through Little Marley. But Jordy Smith only needed a 4.84. Ross, some real quality manoeuvres in there. Nothing super high impact, but you'd think that it's going to be enough to get him into the lead.
Pretty surfing there. I really liked it. You know, those rail turns were nice. But, you know, Wiggolly has been tightening the screws in his heat. He's already got that 8.3. I believe we'll catch up to another wave that he dropped just during that break. So it's going to be a really good gut check here for Jordy. He's going to be up against him because right here on your screen, this is what we're talking about. Wiggolly. Watch this wave grow. Look at that thing. Going all the way through to Greenmount, and that's that spray we've been talking about. Wow. Vertical snap there. An amazing bottom turn. How's that? It's like, you know, these surfers at this level, once they taste blood on the way, once they feel that momentum, they get that spark. It's like they just get more and more into it. They really dig their nails in. So Wiggolly, I think that might even be better than his 8.3.
Wow.
And there's the spice we were just looking for. You just mentioned it a minute ago, and Miguel's like, there you go.
So prior to those two waves, we'd yet to see the scores fall. Then Jordy had this one. He netted a 4.84 prior to Wiggolly's last ride coming in. The requirement is definitely going to grow for Jordy, but I love that turn.
That was beautiful. Really nice style.
Push through that first bit of water too to find the green face.
So the main difference why I think Wiggolly's score will go higher, he had that really tall open face in front of him, and he just absolutely lit it up. Classic big moves. The judges are going to eat it up, really figure out the lineup, where to sit, to be in the right place at the right time, because you can't get lucky your whole life. And there's certain guys out there that are quote-unquote wave magnets. It's just not, it's not the truth. They know where to sit. Kind of out of reach at this point, 4 minutes to go, so he'd already be thinking, well, at least I got round 2. That is the cool thing about round 1, is if you lose, you still get another crack. Right.
Or you find yourself falling on a couple of crucial turns. You've got to search for the positives. And Jordy trying to find something now, throws everything into that maneuver, doesn't ride out, 3 minutes to go. Well, just on a minute remaining. Let's look back on the 8.93. It was a great looking wave and surfed almost to perfection.
Seamless. Even the floater to get around to the open section was really nice. No bobbles. I love that bottom turn too. He covered a lot of ground to get to that last section. Connected the dots nice, but you could see because he had so much flow, it allowed him to really have that zip. So, you know, Miguel Pupo is really smooth and buttery, but Wiggolly, he just has that little extra zap through his turns that, you know, gets the judges excited.
Well, there's just 30 seconds remaining, and a very convincing round 1 performance from Wiggolly. A heat score total of 17.26 at this stage. Jordy Smith, yeah, one pretty decent wave in there for a 7.1. Even his backup was solid. Definitely some positives to be taken out, but I definitely don't think Jordy will be happy about being relegated to round 2. There is going to be some really good surfers meeting up in the second round. Jordy, he was way down the back end of the ratings.
Julian, Kelly, round 2 is going to be nuts.
So Jordy was the 11th seed as the injury wildcard. He drops in at 11, so he's going to be in the middle of the road with the seeding. So he's going to probably have a pretty interesting draw there. It's going to be great to see who he matches up against in round 2. But Wiggolly Dantas, he is powering through directly to the 3rd round.